we move right along into the welterweight division, and Jake Miller making his way to the cage here. 3 wins, 2 losses, actually fought under a month ago at IT Fight Series 37 in Columbus.
Yes, he did. Took a TKO victory in the second round over Stephen Parsons, coming out of Grove City, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. This kid is tough, very tough. Very well-rounded. He's comfortable on the ground, on the feet. It really doesn't matter to him. He just likes to get in there and fight. He's
been training with Grove City Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for about a year and a half. Of course, tough guys there like Alfred Leisure, a great up-and-coming camper in Ohio, and Jake Miller is a BJJ blue belt and started out his career in 2013 with 2 losses, but has rebounded 3 straight wins, moving up to 3-2, making a name for himself here in the IT welterweight division.
Yeah, he's been doing really well ever since he came over here to IT. He's had some tough opponents. He's had some very good fights, but he's been able to put this little run together, and he's looking to make it 4 in a row here tonight, but he will have a tough test in his opponent tonight.
Also a pretty tall, lanky guy for this division, 6 feet tall and 170 pounds. That gives him, but he's also facing an opponent in Treg Wells who is about the same height as him.
Right.
But I talked to him, and Jake Miller said he sees a lot of holes in Treg Wells' game. And I asked him, I said, well, what are those holes? And he said, I don't think he has any stand-up really. So I think that's what's going to be Jake Miller's game plan here. You saw him get the TKO win.
He had
over Stephen Parsons.
A very good, very back-and-forth fight with Stephen Parsons last month. The first round, it was just back and forth, striking war, and in the second round, he managed to get him. Actually busted Stephen Parsons' eyebrow open. He had to get stitches after the fight. He lit him up pretty good there at the end and had to get the ref stoppage. So he's very confident with his hands. And like you said, being a BJJ blue belt, I don't think he's worried about anywhere that this fight's going to go.
Jerry Poe gives him a last look over here as he makes his way into the cage.
All right, let's welcome his opponent out of the blue corner, Treg Wells.
And his opponent now, Treg Wells, 7 wins, 6 losses.
Yeah, he definitely owns the experience advantage between the two of them. 13 fights. He has lost his last 2 in a row, though, so he told me before we went live that the one thing he is absolutely looking to do is get back on the winning track, and he said that Jake Miller, unfortunately, is going to be the victim of him getting away with that win.
And Treg Wells was a guy, he is 2-1 under the IT banner, had 6 straight wins, actually, in 2014, 2015, but took a little bit of a step up in competition, suffered some losses, but that's the whole goal of an amateur career.
Oh,
absolutely. Now moving back up to welterweight, it'll be interesting to see which Treg Wells we see here in this fight.
The only way that you progress and get better as a fighter is to face better competition. You got to learn from it, win or lose, and push yourself harder. And we'll see what happens here tonight. He's got a very tough test in Jake Miller.
And 2 experienced guys here early on in this card, and I mean, how do you feel with the 2 guys? You got guys that got, one guy has 5 fights, one is 13, but early on here in this card,
I think that makes the show better as a whole. You got to have experienced fighters.
This fight is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the IT Fight Series lightweight division. First, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a Muay Thai Jiu-Jitsu fighter with an MMA record, 3 wins, 2 losses. He stands 6 feet tall, weight 154 and 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Grove City, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Jake Di Mariano Miller. And his opponent fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a freestyle fighter with an MMA record, 7 wins, 6 losses. He's 5 feet 11 inches tall, weight 154 and 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Team Demolition in Findlay, Ohio, Treg Wells. And your referee for this contest is Craig Franklin.
Gentlemen, you've been given your instructions back in the locker room. If you have any questions on the red corner, if you have any questions on the blue corner, keep it clean, touch gloves if you want. Not step back to your corner.
we're ready to go here. Jake Miller in the black, trimmed in red. Treg Wells in the black. Greg Franklin is your 3rd man inside of the cage. I think this is going to be a good one.
This is going to be an entertaining fight right here. This is one of those where you really just don't know which way to go.
Cage doors locked. Ready to go here.
Go, Treg, take your time now.
Glove touch here early on.
A quick leg kick coming out of Miller.
Wells with his chin, hands down, chin up, not respecting the striking of Jake Miller at all.
I think that could cost him big time.
He eats an inside leg kick there. A little front kick there from Jake Miller. Interesting striking
Miller
style.
pressing the action quickly, trying to get Treg Wells to engage.
And switching stances multiple times, and already those.
Man, he is lighting that leg up. Wells taking the shots. I'll give him credit on that, but
Take your time. Be patient, Treg.
And leg kicks are usually something that doesn't affect a guy that much that early on in the fight, but Wells did not seem to like those powerful
Absolutely
leg kicks from
not.
Jake Miller. Wells now has him up against the cage.
Miller is very experienced at throwing those leg kicks, though, being a Muay Thai fighter, so he knows where to hit.
And if you've seen Treg Wells fight before, you know that he loves to wrestle in fights.
There you go. Good.
And that is where he's trying to get the fight now, looking for a double leg. Elevates and
Good
gets a
slam.
slam.
Good slam.
Be patient, Treg.
Miller keeps his composure, though.
Jake Miller has full guard. Already maybe looking to throw those legs up. Maybe looks like he is trying
Looks like he's trying to sneak a triangle in there because he's got that left leg creeping up.
Treg Wells doing a good job here, stacking him. Of course, if you in a triangle, you actually want to posture. Stack an armbar, triangle, you want to posture. But Wells looking to do some work here on the ground in the first round.
Miller staying calm, trying to control Treg's head.
Feet on the hips, and one thing you want to look, a guy who is active off of his back, he has his hips off of the mat. Looking for the sweep here, actually, is Jake Miller. But now has his right arm trapped, gets it back out. Miller good off of his back here early on in the first round. Like I said, hips off the mat, looking for sweeps against a guy who has heavy top pressure in Treg Wells.
Yep.
Let's go, Treg.
But Jake's not staying stationary and just allowing himself to be a target. He's moving, he's adjusting his position, he's looking for sweeps and submissions.
Might be looking for that arm bar here from the right arm of Treg Wells. If he doesn't get that, he might throw up the triangle, but a couple of big shots here from Wells.
Posturing up and landing some strikes here.
Now Jake Miller has a high guard on Treg Wells. A couple big shots. One of the best defenses of a guy who's trying to be active off his back is just punch him in the face.
Yep.
Wells looking to make space here. Stacking again, Jake Miller.
So far, Treg Wells' submission defense here has been very, very good.
That shot landed clean to the eye of Jake Miller. Miller looks like a guy who will take a shot to improve his position, but just 10 seconds left to go here in the first round. And Wells stands up at the end of the first round. That's a tough round to score in Ohio with the wrestling state and MMA in general. A lot of times it seems like the guy that is on top is winning, but you saw a very active Jake Miller off of his back there.
Yeah, he stayed very active, but I think in the overall capacity of strikes and damage done, from the ground perspective, I think Treg Wells kind of got the nod on that one. I would have to say Wells with the takedown and the control through better part of half that round, he probably took that first round.
Right, and the big thing with Jake Miller, he was active off his back, looking for submissions, but no true submission attempts
Right.
in that first round.
Right.
Wells, of course, the member of Demolition Fight Team, and gyms you always kind of have a moniker, a kind of reputation. The reputation of Demolition is that they are some hard-nosed, tough guys.
Right.
And of course, as we mentioned, Grove City Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has kind of made a name here for themselves in 2015 under the IT Fight Series banner. Maybe one of the better up-and-coming gyms in the state of Ohio. A lot of young guys, no huge names. They do have Alfred Leisure training there, but they seem to be guys who will come in and ready to fight every single time.
Yeah, Avery Aurelio, Jake Miller, as you said, Alfred Leisure, training there as well. They've got some up-and-coming fighters, a lot of tough guys, and starting to really make a name for themselves out here.
And Luke Ramsbottom is another guy that
absolutely
is gonna be really good here.
Absolutely.
Round 2 ready to go. Greg Franklin makes sure that both guys are ready. Another glove touch here. Miller didn't necessarily look like he was interested in the glove touches. He throws another big
Miller
outside
getting a
leg
little
kick.
more active with his hands this time. He's not just leaving it to the leg strikes. He's getting a little more active with his hands. And actually, Miller looking for the takedown. Looked for the judo throw. Couldn't hit it. And
Has control of Wells' neck as Wells looks for the takedown.
he's got a single arm in. He's trying to wrap up that guillotine. Wells looking for a big slam here, though. I'm not sure he wants to commit to it.
And Miller did not want to get slammed there, so let go of the neck.
Hey, that stuff doesn't always feel good.
Feet on the hips here from Miller as Wells, as we see more of what we saw in
Once
the first
again,
round.
trapping Treg Wells' right arm. Looks like he's trying to set up for, an armbar or a triangle.
But
And
Wells
he's pulling
doing
it off. And
that-
Wells with a show of strength there,
I
just
was gonna say
powering
that-
out. And a beautiful switch by Jake Miller.
Nice
Miller
switch.
right into the mount.
I was going to say that he did exactly what you don't want to do in an armbar as posture. Now
Miller-
Miller has his back with a body triangle here, and it's going to be hard for Treg Wells to breathe
This
in
is where he's
position.
going to just start trying to work some damage.
Rolls through, now has mount again, a high
he's-
mount.
This is
Throws
where
some
he's going to
punches.
start raining down shots. And don't be surprised if he tries to take that arm on the high side and go for the armbar.
Completely postured up here. Wells doing a good job defending, grabs the wrists of Jake Miller. Nice little hammer fist there.
Miller being very smart. He's staying high up on the chest. He's staying off of Treg Wells' hips, not allowing Wells to hit the hip escape and get out. And Jake is landing some hard shots right now.
Big right hands, and Wells looking to escape out the back door, but Miller, oh, nice sweep there.
Looking for the omoplata, and he has almost got it.
Right in front of our broadcast position here. Wells trying to
He
turn
has
in,
switched to a crucifix.
turning the wrong way.
As unbelievable as this is, Jake Miller has Treg Wells in a crucifix right here in front of us, trying to free up his hands so he can start landing some strikes.
Modified omoplata, and Wells was actually turning the wrong way out of that omoplata.
He was.
Turn into it, and that's how he got put into a crucifix now.
Oh my goodness.
This is a
This just
nasty
does not
position.
look like it feels good at all. He's got almost an inverted anaconda.
I don't even know what to call this. He has control of his neck and his arm right in front of us
We'll just
again.
call it the Jake lock. This
Oh my-
cannot feel good. Treg Wells'
Still
arm
has-
bent up behind his back. He's stuck in a half rear naked, and this just does
it
not
looks
look like it. Unbelievable.
I thought Miller was going to try to release that arm so he could finish
And
the
he's
rear naked
back on
choke.
top.
Wells escapes out of that. I don't know how he did
I think
that,
he's
but
going to survive the round. And he does. Incredible round right there.
And I'll tell you what, Jake Miller,
I think we have an even fight here because I think Jake Miller just took that round.
definitely took the round, and I would say if he didn't get taken down in that, kind of modified slam, that was close to a 10-8 round.
That would have been, absolutely. That was, wow. I think he's going to want to go back through our fight footage here and put a name on that submission that he was working for there. I have never seen anybody that twisted up. And
Treg Wells, I guess, is a Stretch Armstrong here.
he's got some rubber joints or something in that body of his because he managed to get through that. And that looked extremely painful.
As we mentioned, they were right in front of us, and it was almost painful to watch. And it wasn't even happening to me. I wasn't in any pain.
I think my shoulder and my neck are kinked up a little bit after watching that.
Great action here. Two guys looking to make a name for themselves here in the IT Fight Series Amateur Division.
Now this is what you look forward to when you have experienced amateurs that know what they're looking for in there.
Even fight here. You've cornered a lot of guys. What are you telling Jake Miller heading into this third round?
Pressure. Treg Wells, he's breathing hard out of his mouth. He's got his mouth open, and Jake Miller needs
No glove touch there.
Jake Miller needs to finish this fight.
No glove touch, and immediately lands that. I mean,
He's all
didn't
business
shake
right
off the
now.
glove touch though. So interesting that he came out and just immediately threw the leg kick, and Wells just ate it. Wells again looking for that takedown And I'm not so sure I would want to be on the ground with Jake Miller after what we saw in that second round.
Switch to a single if you can.
And Wells again looking to elevate Jake Miller in front of us.
Miller does not seem to be worried about being slammed at all.
Just climbing up. You see the jiu-jitsu in half guard here. A lot of guys like half guard on the bottom, and a lot of guys like half guard on the top.
Yeah.
Treg Wells looking for that underhook on the opposite side.
Jake's going to look to escape and get up.
Nice
and
little
does
whizzer there.
Very nicely. And he's got the neck. Wells gave up the neck. He may have the standing guillotine here.
He has a power guillotine.
He does have the power guillotine
And
in there.
He didn't see. He wasn't happy.
He is not happy with the referee's call there.
I heard Greg Franklin say his body went limp, at least momentarily. I'm not sure. He didn't seem to be limp.
I didn't see a tap, so evidently Greg Franklin saw something that we didn't on that side.
And at first, Wells seemed to be unhappy with it, but he said he thought he went limp, but he was fine. And that was an interesting call there from referee Greg Franklin. And tough because that was a great fight, and you hate to see it end like that.
You really do. You hate to see a fight like that in that way. I'm not going to say controversial, but maybe a little premature.
Great fight. Wells doesn't. He's of course unhappy with the loss. Doesn't seem to be arguing too much here because he was in a bad position, and if you don't want to lose a fight, don't put yourself in a bad position.
That is true. So Miller now riding a 4-fight win streak.
And Nick Hahn will give us the official result here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the referee has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 1 second in round number 3. Declared a winner by TKO to a guillotine choke, Jake the Mario Miller.
They called it a TKO, so a technical submission.